guys, this is Jazz, bringing you now what I'd like to call the quest logs and book logs number 5. But this used to be the video games and books I've played and read. So, I will still keep the titles of the last 4 of them, the titles that I've had it, but the videos of this series going forward will be known as quest logs and book logs following the number that I have in the series. So I got it voted on. So today I got 3.5 games. We'll get to that part in a bit, and a whole lot of books that I can't even count. Yes, it's more of a book log video today than anything. But I will bringing up some of the things I plan to read and play in the future. Again, guys, this can be subjective, which you'll see again in a minute. I will start with the games first, which when I talk about suggestive, this was not on my list to play last time, yet I beat it. Yeah, I know, Metopia. Now, funny story, I don't think I've ever brought it up even in my About Me video. I don't know for sure, but maybe I didn't come across when I did the video, or it come to my mind, but I can be a very sporadic person. 1 minute something will be a super great idea, right? And I'll be so into it. The next minute, ooh, look at this new shiny thing. It's funny and not even funny. That is exactly how I am, but I'm glad this time this happened. I was doing something else, maybe reading or playing another game that I had on my list. I'm I have never really picked up Metopia. I think I've been watching videos of it or something. I had this for almost 5 years, right? Literally, and I did not touch it, right? Really, not really touch it. I may have touched it a little bit, but not fully, right? So I decided to pick it up, and you would think, oh, it would just be another phase, right? I go through a lot of them as my point of this. I beat it. I beat it. I stuck with it this time, and I am so glad I did. Because it has to be one of the funnest experience I had with a video game in a little while. Guys, and I know this is the inferior version, there's a Switch version of it, yeah, way too pricey to start with, and doesn't mean this is always, yes, there's mechanics that are in this one, like the horse, whatever, but this is also just as fun, in my opinion, right? And maybe I would love the Switch version too if I had it, right? But this was my first time playing the game, my first experience with the game, and I enjoyed this experience very much. It took me so many hours. I grinded for the final boss a little too much, I think. And yes, when I say I beat it, I beat all the main story, the Darkest Lord. And I'm impressed by that. It was really, really fun. Now, a game that was on my list, Pokemon Black Trash Run. The one thing, guys, I can say gets this. Oh my, gets this. I beat him, right? And again, thank God it isn't Nuzlocke, because I lost at least 3, almost 4 Pokemon on my team to him. But I did it. He had to be the hardest battle in this entire game. And not much of a problem. The Elite Four, well, okay, a little bit of a problem. But you're gonna laugh at this. The hardest normal Elite Four, I think, was Courtney. Was there the psychic one? Was a cinch. The other 3 members give me more problems than Courtney did. That's just the first part of the game, though, so... But could you just picture it? The E4 that's usually notoriously the harder member gave me the easiest time. Yeah. I found that kind of hilarious. I'm wait, what? Because I said, I have to be careful I'm going to have to be careful for... Both Chantal, Grimsley, and Marshall all almost stomped me, killed at least 1 Pokemon, or more each. And I'm Courtney, boom, 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 almost 1 hit each. I'm okay, this is incredibly weird, but I'll take it. I'll take the freebie. Okay, when I say kill, I'm so used to Nuzlocke. It wasn't a kill. I could revive, I could bring them back, right? But knock them out. To normal. Yeah, Nuzlocke have been so known now that some people don't think of the games without them. But no, I had fun playing this game with different Pokemon. Now, if I go, guys, to battle the E4 again in Alder, I am not using trash. I'm sorry. I beat the main game with trash Pokemon. I consider it the game beat. So anything else I do, I just go doing what I want to do. I am not beating Alder with a budget Pokemon with the stats. Like, I barely beat Getsis with the trash Pokemon. Alder in their 70s is, I mean, I guess I could train them, I guess. But my gosh, there are no pushovers. The E4, especially after the main game, are no pushovers. See, I'm taking the strongest Pokemon I can get, including my starter. He's finally got his turn in the spotlight. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get pictures, because that's one thing. I have trouble getting pictures. So I'll get as many as I can. Don't quote me on that. Now, this next game I actually forgot a while back, and it was Pilgrims. It's an interesting, unique mechanic where you have like cards where you have different items and you give them to certain party members to unlock certain parts of the map in the story. And it's an interesting game. Like, it was interesting for a very short play. Maybe not one of my favorites, but it wasn't awful either. I mean, it was interesting enough, right? We'll just say not the worst, not the best. Yeah, and now, I said 3.5. Well, I sort of beat Clicking Companions, but I don't know if I could fully count it, because now that I think about it, I played it through one time, defeated the... Jeez, I've seen this is how memorable the game is. I can barely remember the characters. The evil redheaded one, the one that goes crazy. Then I go back without, back to it, and then playing it from the point of view of your character right from the get-go, as they show up. Right, so it's like a redo. So I partially beat that. I'll kind of count that, and I might just play through it again. So we'll say I beat it and didn't. Now, the books. The books. Well, okay, before I get to the books, I did sort of, again, another half I'll include as a quarter I include as I beat the Life is Strange 2 Episode 1. And what do I have to say about it? So far, I'm really enjoying the game. But it's one of those games that I really enjoyed, but it's hard to get back into, if you know what I mean, because it has a lot of heavy stuff in it, in a way. So I will get back onto that in a little bit. So the books. I'm going to start with the elephant in the room. You've probably already seen it in my haul video, the sneak peek, but yes, guys, I I finished reading Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I mean, wow. I made a poll whether I should wait to do this video until I've read this book, and you guys said yes. So that pushed me to read it further, and my gosh, guys. This was the easiest 144 pages I had to finish. It shows I've improved as a reader, because I was able to get through this relatively easy, all things considered. I just hated that it came to an end, which is why I again ordered The Cursed Child, even though it's not a full-on book. It still has a story in it, so I want to just read Albus's story a little bit. We'll just say, loved this book. Don't regret reading the series at all. Homicidal Psycho Jungle Cat. Yes, another Calvin and Hobbes book. Again, I believe this was the last one I had in my collection, which is, again, sad. But I just love love it, as it's just a bunch of mixed comics, really. It's hard to really say anything about it. But one thing I could say is I believe I've improved my reading ability because this was not as hard as some of the other ones that had more harder words. Remember how I said it? Because this almost went easier than anything. Maybe I'll see if I can find another one that I don't have at some point, but again, I really, really enjoyed it. Speaking of really enjoyed comics, Garfield takes the cake. My gosh, I love the storylines in this one. I mean, the fact that he got sent to a pound and escaped like he was on a duck, I loved some of the storylines were just, to me, so funny. Right? And I don't know why, but this has become one of my favorite strips. I love Calvin and Hobbes. I love For Better For Worse. But this is coming very close to them, in a way. Alright. Goosebumps Attack of the Mutant. Now, honestly, guys, surprisingly, I actually enjoyed this one. Okay, I know this sounds strange because I love Goosebumps. But I've been lately been getting on, oh yes, I know how everything is going to happen, right? So, surprisingly, maybe because I'm not used to reading much superhero stuff, that this was a change of pace for me. So this was, for me, was one of the better ones. Never thought I'd say this. So, and as a kid, this was probably, not up my alley. But now I actually really enjoyed this one this time around. So, shows your taste change when you get older a bit. And I just loved, like, they have differences in the book and in the episode. There is an episode based on this. And it has a lot with comics too. I know superhero comics, but I still love reading funny comics, which are still comics, despite the fact the main character made fun of those type of comics, right? Trust me, everyone has their own taste, right? And that's what matters. Coraline. Guys, I loved this. I admit it has some very unique story elements, right? It teaches good moral lessons. Like, the author doesn't treat their audience like idiots. And that's one thing I love. I gotta say, so far, this is probably now one of my favorite books that I've ever read of all time. Would have been, but I think I found a book in the same video that I may have liked a little more or about the same, but for different reasons. This would definitely be on a list of my favorite books, for sure, even close to second or third. So, this is a story everyone has to experience at least once, though, so I'm not going to spoil too much of it. I'm just glad that I read this book, for sure. Now on to a book that was a little more iffy to me. I liked it okay, and the reason I say it is not for what you would think, oh, is it too childish for you, Jazz? No, not at all. I like to call this book, guys, complex book for babies. Okay, guys, okay, to be fair, back in the time this was originally released, this might be easy enough to understand for kids, but this is for 6 to 12-year-olds. And I think I would have just as easy of a time with Shakespeare. Okay, I'm sorry, just some of the way they write, the complex way they write for a kid's book. I did understand it, to give them credit in the end, but some of the things were a little bit complex, even for me. Not too much that I couldn't finish it, but it makes some books, like Harry Potter, yes, look a little bit easier. Because at least with Harry Potter, it's more world building, right? It has some different words, but it's mostly you can understand what they're saying, right? You don't need to read it too many times to get it. With this one, I had to read each page a couple of times. Now, there are books I've had a harder time with that is you would consider normal language. But will this say I liked the idea of the story, right? And the idea of her saving her friend and going through all this trouble. I loved just I'm not used to the writing style of it. So, but I am glad that I gave it a shot and finished it. The Black Cauldron, guys. My gosh. When the Ant-Man 64 said this was the best in the series, I mean, okay, I only read the book of 3, but so far he is absolutely correct. I absolutely loved this book. And honestly, this would probably also be in my list of favorite books. But again, this is not in the realm of Coraline to me, or this last book I'm going to be given. This book is great. Fantastic. Would definitely be top 3 so far. 3 or 4. But it will just say, personally, the writing is absolutely fabulous. We'll just say when it comes to the writing, this is probably one of the best books I've read. But when I say in my favorites, I mean a personal preference of things that hit me really there. Right? Trust me, when it comes to the ability, this is probably the better book of my favorite 3 books here. So, yeah, I loved it. You meet a lot of characters, you lose characters. Again, you've got to experience this book for yourself. Not going to spoil everything, but I just absolutely, the ending was very sad, personally. So guys, just check out the Chronicles of Prydain. Like, trust me, you'll love it. Now, here is the book that I think have so far become my favorite book. Holes. Yes, guys, you guys are like, Holes? You mean like the movie with Shia LaBeouf? Yes, but it was based on a book. And guys, how do I put it? I don't think I've ever connected to characters so much or was so into a story like I was with Holes. Yes. Up until I read this book, Coraline was getting up there as my favorite one. But this one, it was literally like the perfect book for me. It wasn't overly complex. The stories were engaging enough for me to stay focused. Right? The only reason I stop sometimes is I want to be able to read more the next day. And since I have a hard time starting new books, I would have trouble with it, so I wanted to savor the book as long as possible too. So that was another thing. And it's 250 odd pages, or 260 pages. No, 250. Okay, no, I feel so stupid. Like, I'm looking at 200 and... Okay, 233 pages. Okay, my point being is it did not feel that long. It looks big, but it did not feel that long. This is my definition of a fast-paced book. And it wasn't just because it was fast that I liked it. I mean, I loved the characters, the story. Okay, I hated some characters too, but they were the right ones to hate. And everything connected perfectly. And I could see why this book got a no-berry medal. Because, honestly, I think I would reread this again. But again, to let myself try new things, I'll hold off. But, honestly, this is probably one of the best experiences I've had with a book. Like I said with the Miitopia game. Now, guys, I'm definitely including this as standalone, my favorite standalone book. I'm sure there are other series that I really enjoyed, right? But I have so much good to say about it, but I best stop to finish this video off. You guys, remember how I said Coraline you have to at least experience? Well, you have to experience holes at least once in your life, guys, please. Alright, now, I talked about the games I played, the books that I've read. Now let's talk about the games that I'm sort of playing right now. And I'm just going to include pictures because a lot of them are hard to dig out. Now, I am still playing the Mystery Dungeon DX. I'm at the point where I'm getting ready to battle Zapdos. I didn't make it very far because I played so many other games. But I am still continuing to play it. I think I'm about to take on Zapdos, right? And then train a little more because once I get to the fugitive storyline, I have to, I'm on my own. So I want to be prepared for that situation is why I've been taking my time with it. I have been playing it, but I've been making sure I was ready for the challenges ahead in the game. Now, I am playing Life is Strange 2. Again, I beat episode 1 like I showed you there. But I have 2, 3, 4, and 5 to play. I just need to get into it, right? Like, when I played it, I had such a blast with it. Like episode 1, I'm just bracing myself for the hard parts of it. In a way, because it's going to get worse from here, right? It was one of the easy parts was episode 1, honestly. I'm actually playing South Park, The Fractured But Whole. Yes, guys, now you're wondering, haven't I played that years ago? It's never been on a quest logs or book logs video. And this is the Steam version. Yes, I can finally play it. Like before, I couldn't play it on my old PC. So I figured I would play this game. And now, guys, to be fair, I'm at the point where we're at the police. Right? So I'm close to beating that game, surprisingly. I could have waited to beat that to make this video, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna try to do more with the video games for the next video. And then do that. But I've been enjoying the ride so far. It was so long since I've played the game. Some parts were harder than I remembered, but I'm still really enjoying it so far. Like, and it's easier in some ways knowing some of the things that are gonna happen, but you know, it's what it is, right? Okay. What else am I playing? Yeah, see, I'm very unorganized with that frame of mind. Okay, I have decided that I am sort of putting Pokemon Violet on back burner for now. I've beaten a Pokemon game with Pokemon Black, and I've beaten Scarlet a while back too. If I beat it, again, that could change. If I beat it, I'll beat it and let you know. I am kind of playing Animal Crossing. Not Animal Crossing. Guys, take that back. I put that back, but I'm playing Harvest Moon Animal Braid. Yes. I'm actually at the process where I'm about to ring the 4th bell. That's how far I've gotten, right, in the game. But, honestly, some of it is going to be on and off with this, because the last bell is extremely difficult. The purple bell, Edge's bell. You have to make 10 friends. I know 3 hearts. How bad is that? Guys, I've played it for, what? I don't know how long. I'm near the end of summer, or I'm near the end of spring, so maybe it's not as bad. But really, I've done the best I could, and I only got maybe 1 heart on 2 people. And plus, that was with using the little remote to rub as well. And you need batteries for both of your Wii remotes, which are pricey. This may not happen for a while, guys. I might end up having to go to just talking to them every day. So this game is a long game in the making. To beat. So, guys, this won't be probably for a few videos if I announce that I beat that. But I'm letting you know that I'm on and off playing it. Just so you know. Alright, what else? I did start up Explorers of Sky, but that is for I have an option if I'm traveling when my Switch doesn't connect or something, so that's kind of a off game too, to have a traveling game in a way. But I am mainly going for Mystery Dungeon DX because, again, I'm really enjoying that game. I just need to learn to grind a little less and go a little more with the actual playing of the game. Yeah. Okay, I've put Echoes of the Plum Grove on hiatus for now. There's just a lot going on, but that still might be an option, right? We'll say these next games are going to be options but not fully committed, and that's Echoes of the Plum Grove, Ooblets, but I am going further into Ooblets. Cult of the Lamb. That is it, Cult of the Lamb. That's mainly it. I guess put one file, maybe I might squeeze in it now and then. Right. And I also am sort of playing the new game that I got in the hall, Graveyard Keeper. That again is in the mix too, and I will definitely say if I beat Life is Strange 2 and I want another game like it, I'll add The Wolf Among Us to the list. And finally, I'm thinking of playing Kindergarten 2. Those are the main. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to beat them all, doesn't mean things won't change up at all. Again, that's a disclaimer every time in this video. As I said, Miitopia was included as a completed game, and it wasn't even included in the list last time, so take that as you will. Now, guys, let's get to the books that I am reading. Yes, the Golden Compass. This might be a regret book later, but I don't think as much as some of the other books. It's another series, but I don't own the other ones, so I'm good with reading this as a standalone and starting it. Hopefully this will be good. I wanted a longer book to read, too, between the other ones, so I'm going to be reading this one. This is about 390-something pages. So, it does look a bit harder than Holes, I know that, so I'm going to prepare myself for that. But it looks just really interesting. Now, before I fully continue on with the other books, this is going to be sort of another back burner book that we need to talk about, Kevin, because I haven't done a thing since the last time with this book. I love the idea. I've watched the movie. I think I've even listened to an audiobook at some point and understood it and enjoyed it. But for some reason, I can't find that same one that I can connect to like I did with this one. So I'm going to try to research and find the proper audiobook equivalent to listen to this, because as reading it, it's a bit too complicated right now. In fact, even more in some ways than Watership Down. Yes, I'm saying that. But I want to be able to call this book finished at some point. So I'm not going to do a poll again for this book, because this book is way... The other book, the Half-Blood, the Deathly Hallows were different. I could read it, I just needed to get motivated to. This one I had 45 pages of it, and I like the idea, but it's kind of a bit complex for right now. But you still might see this in a video, a vlog someday. Just not maybe next time or the time after that, but I will get to it at some point. The Babysitter 3. Yes, I never read this yet, but I've read a whole bunch of the books this time around. I figured this will be in the next one, because I got so into some of the other books. Like Holes wasn't on my list last time either. That's another fun example. So this book will come, eventually. I'm savoring it because there's one other book left in the series. It'll be a while, obviously, now, till I can get the 4th of this, so I'm going to slowly enjoy this book. And I'm looking forward to seeing a new character like Jenny's cousin as one of the main stars in this book. Gross. This is, I believe, my second Baby Blues book that I'm going to read. I didn't start this yet. Maybe because I actually was into bigger books recently, which is actually a surprise. I meant like actual novels. But I am going to try to go read this for the next time around. You know, I have the bookmark in it so I can read it, so I have it prepared, as you see. So it's just a matter of actually reading it, and this is the 33rd in the collection books. Again, comic books I usually don't care what order they're in. The books series, I need to have them, 1, 2, I need to be able to read them, right, in a way. Speaking of, I did forget to add, I am going to add it here, that I am going to also read Little House in the Big Woods when I get it. And possibly Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Possibly the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Because, again, it's a manuscript, so... I actually added 2 Goosebump books this time. My Hairiest Adventure. This is book number 26, I believe, in the series. Now, I had read this as a child, and I liked it okay more then. It's a bit more iffy now, I'd say, for me. But, you know what? Maybe when I actually read it, it'll be different. And A Night in Terror Tower. Yes, guys. Fun. Remember the book that I said, oh, it's probably too much info? I'm older now. I've read more complex books. This might actually be even interesting to me, like the Attack of the Mutant one. Maybe since you don't have to read them in order, I might read that first. I have no idea, but I decided to pick 2 Goosebump books before I do the next, video. Anyway, so this is on the list. Scary stories to tell in the dark. I decided to finally pick this up and eventually read this. Again, these books that I put can be in any order that I read them, mostly. So even though I show them in a certain order doesn't mean I'm going to read them in that order, if you know what I mean. But these are just the books that I do plan to read and what I have. Yeah, I heard so much about this series and I want to try it. But maybe I'll read this closer to the end, maybe, because I want to be able to read the others if I like it. So, again, it won't be till at least after the year that I get another proper video haul. Like, I might do one for Christmas and my birthday each, and maybe then I might choose those books as part of my birthday or Christmas things. But it'll be at least Christmas before I get, or my birthday before I get a chance at these again, so I'm going to savor them as I can. The Castle Lair, the 3rd in the Chronicles of Prydain series. Now, guys, this how I recently told you about the orders of my books aren't going to be actual orders. This definitely might be one of the last ones that I pick up when I'm done reading these. One of them. I might even add other books again. This, as I said many times in this video, that what I read is still, up for debate. But I want to try to savor this because, again, not till my birthday or Christmas do I have even another real chance at getting these books. So I'm going to try to read it close to when I would get the other one. But I still want to have this in this video, so I definitely know that I will read it at some point. And the final book that I have to show for this video, again, as I said, anything is up for debate, but the ones that I show more than likely will be read. Doesn't mean they will, but more than likely will. Is Garfield Gains Weight, the second book. Yes, I wanted to finally read this, because I ordered it because I had not read the other books. I read the other books up to 5, and I wanted to read, minus this one, so I wanted to read this one. So I'm going to include this in there with all the others. So that way I'll look at it and say, okay, yeah, I should read it. You know what I mean? So yeah, guys, sorry for this video being very long. I'm also apologizing to Editing Jazz. I apologize, I'm so sorry, me, because I'm the one who edits this all. But hopefully things will work very well. As I said, I have a trip, as I said in the other video, I have a trip coming up in September to Ontario, and I'm going to be there for 2 weeks, so, and knowing me, I'll probably hyper-focus on things that I'm comfortable with. Hopefully it doesn't mean watching YouTube all day again, but I'm in a new place, so maybe I'll try to do more things, like read or play certain games. So yeah, there are going to be games like, Animal Parade that I won't be able to play on the go, but a lot of these games I could bring with me too, so I'm trying to make sure of that so I can make progress. The books I definitely can bring with me. And knowing my anxiety, I'll probably be in the bathroom a lot, so it'll be more reading. So, maybe that is why I've been reading more than I've been playing games. Partially. I don't know. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you do this channel, like what you see, please subscribe. It helps this channel a lot. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so you know when new videos are coming out. And I'll see you guys in my next video.